Hi everyone from Hertz Arena. Welcome to the Florida Everblades pregame show. Alongside Jake Maurice, I'm Alli Vellucci. Today we're going to talk the third and final game of this South Carolina series, how the series has turned so physical, the penalty kill lockdown on both sides of the ice, and Evan Fitzpatrick. Jake, how much of a playoff-like atmosphere did we see last night?
It's pretty much a playoff game in January. It's been 2 playoff games in January. Even if you wanted to go back to the games in South Carolina, these teams, they've been getting themselves ready for the playoffs. And it's very much expected that these two teams are going to be most likely 1 and 2, whatever order in the South Division. They're both going to have home ice advantage. And both teams have shown that their building is going to be tough to play in, though Florida, right now 4-0 against the Stingrays, certainly has the edge.
Final game between these two teams this week. Two of the most skilled teams, not only in the South Division, but in the league overall. How did you see Florida break through on their offense last night?
Well, it was just about taking advantage of your opportunities. I mean, on that second goal, Xavier Cormier, he's starting to get himself ready to go on the back check, and Michael Kim passes it right to him in the slot, the perfect spot to get the puck. Couldn't have been a better feed if it was one of his teammates passing it to him, and he just buries it. So when they've gotten the chances, they've used their skill. There were a few times where they would have had some goals if Tyler Wall wasn't excellent in net last night, and it just seems the Everblades right now, they're playing with so much confidence. Going back to that South Carolina series earlier in the month, the Florida Everblades right now, they've won 6 of their last 7 games. They're on an absolute heater, and everyone is feeling it right now on the team.
Kobe Roth got his team on the board first last night. I talked to him in between the first and second intermission. Take a look what he had to say. Kobe, you get your team on the board early in the first. Back-to-back games for the Blades getting on the board first. How much does that set the tone for the rest of the game?
Yeah, it's huge. Always super important to get the first goal. So good first period. Got to try and stick with it here.
We knew this was going to be a battle of the special teams tonight. What's going to be the key to keeping South Carolina shut down, specifically on their power play?
Try to not get penalties. Obviously, they have a good power play. Stick to the details on our PK and keep fighting through stuff and getting power plays ourselves and try and bury them.
Let's talk our red-hot netminder, Evan Fitzpatrick, or we like to call him Fitzmagic. His first game back since November 25th, 38 saves. What stood out to you about his performance last night?
Clutch saves, energy, looked like a guy who was thrilled to be back in the crease all night long. You saw his victory celebration after holding on through a 6-on-3. He was the star of the last few minutes, helping the Everblades get that win. And he's on a personal 3-game winning streak. It looks like he's been playing all season, not like he hasn't played since last November. So I think the Everblades now, they realize that even with Cam Johnson gone, they've got a guy who can carry a heavy load and still get wins for the squad.
Have you ever seen a 6-on-3? Nick Lappin post-game, I asked him, and he said, I can't remember it.
I can't remember it either. And normally when you'd see a 6-on-3, you'd think, well, okay, we're going to overtime. Everybody get ready for some extra hockey. But no, Evan Fitzpatrick was the star, but also the players around him supporting well. They got a couple of clears to force South Carolina to go back and pick up the puck. Yeah, when Levko Koper took that cross-checking minor, I think the whole building was starting to feel some dread. But Fitzpatrick and the guys out there, excellent job to seal the win.
We saw this game start to get physical in the second and third period, something that we haven't really seen with these two teams yet. It's been mostly skill-based up until this point. How much can Florida play off of and use that momentum of the physicality aspect of the game?
Well, you do have to make sure that you don't go overboard. A couple of times last night the Everblades did, and it put them into penalty trouble that they didn't need to be in particular somewhat that 6-on-3 at the end of the game. But yeah, the Everblades, they've got some big guys in their squad, guys that love playing that kind of physical brand of hockey, and you can use it to punish the Stingrays on the boards. You can use it to get into their heads so that they almost don't want to. They're flinching a little bit as they go to get loose pucks. You can use that just to build solid momentum for yourself if you're in a bit of a lull where you don't have a lot of offense going. Big hits will get this crowd just as revved up as a good scoring chance. So it's all about using the physicality while not going overboard with it and putting yourself in the penalty box.
I talked to number 1 star last night, Evan Fitzmagic. Take a look what he had to say. Huge win in your first game back in net since November 25th. What was your mindset coming into this one?
Just go out here and not throw up. No, I just want to go out there, battle for the team, give them a chance to win.
We saw things start to get physical in the second and third period. How can you guys feed off of that momentum and energy?
Oh, we feed off that all day. We go in there, they piss us off, we come in there and win a game.
You guys are currently 4 for 6 on points right now. What's it going to take to go 6 for 6 after tomorrow?
Just another hard effort. That's all it is. I'm done.
We've talked special teams a lot with these two teams. Florida's performance on the PK last night was specifically impressive against the top power play in the league. 5 for 7 for Florida on the PK. What was so lethal about them last night?
Yeah, South Carolina did break through, as eventually if you give them 7 power plays in a game, they're going to. But just the way the Everblades responded, they gave up the penalty kill goals against early. And it seemed like that was something South Carolina could use throughout the game, that every time they go on the power play, they could just expect a goal almost. But Florida, they quickly recovered, got back to the way they were playing on Wednesday against this lethal power play unit, and just got better and better, smarter with their plays, more confident in themselves. And then it all culminated in that huge 6-on-3 kill at the end of the game. On the power play, too, they pick up that Jake Smith goal in the second period that restored their 2-goal lead at the time, got the building loud again. So the Everblades, both of their special teams, not perfect last night, but showing up when the team needed them to. And sometimes that's just what you need. You need them to show up in the big moments to get the wins.
When Florida is getting those opportunities on the power play, how important is it to create that traffic in front of the net against against South Carolina's PK?
Very important. Tyler Wall is an excellent goalie. If he's going to see it, he's pretty much going to stop it every time unless it's a perfect shot. So you get that chaos out front, make it hard for him to try and cover the pucks that bounce off of him out front, make it so that guys in there can have a chance to whack it into the back of the net, or like with Jake Smith's goal last night, it comes out to him at the side, he's able to skate it and bury it. And Jake Smith, he's really evolved into the go-to weapon on this Everblades power play. He's been excellent, went up a man for the Florida Everblades this season.
All right, let's go to number one star of the night. Jake, I'm going to give you some credit. You beat me last night.
Yeah.
You picked Coper.
Had
He
to
came
happen.
through with 1 assist, so I'm going to give it to you. I picked Callisti. He didn't get on the score sheet, but I thought he looked pretty good last night.
He did play good. The team, especially the team, was playing with 4 defensemen in the third period.
Essentially, yeah.
So they were in a rough spot with Crossley in the penalty box for misconduct, and then you had Calbla had to leave the game in the second period. 4 defensemen is very tough trying to hold on to a lead, but Callisti was part of it, and he played very well.
I'm going to go with a defenseman tonight. I actually already committed to picking Cole Moberg earlier this week. We filmed a golf cart series, and he heard about my good luck, so he asked if I could give him the shout out for tonight. And so I'm going to go Cole Moberg. I think he's gonna find some rhythm. What do you got?
I'm going with he's been kind of my go-to, Joe Pendenza. 2 assists yesterday, led the team with 6 shots, and in these big games where the Everblades have a chance to go up 7 points on the Stingrays for a nice 7-point cushion for first place, guys like him, your leaders, need to be the leaders on the ice. He was excellent yesterday. I want to see that again tonight.
3 keys of the game.
Well, better discipline. The Everblades, they did run themselves into trouble. If the game gets physical, if there's a hit like the one that got laid on Lucas Calbel last night, obviously you stand up for your guys, but try not to put yourself in the penalty box for 10 minutes while doing it. Also, make sure you continue to bury your chances. South Carolina, they don't give you a whole lot when you get your opportunities, just like Xavier Cormier did last night, Jake Smith, Zach Ewens. When you get that opportunity, make sure it gets into the back of the net. And then the forwards need to help out defensively tonight. Calbla's gone, and LeBlanc and Masella still out of the lineup with injuries. Everybody's going to need to pull their weight here, step up to fill 3 very big pairs of shoes here on the back end. So the forwards, they need to help out the Blue Liners tonight.
Blades fans, final game at home in January. Get loud for some Saturday night hockey. Warm-ups and puck drop are up next.